Shout out to my grade 10 class because I'm a dummy and I don't know when to start push record. So we'll go back up here very slowly. Oh, Mr. Myers, you're brilliant. Thank you for color coding it for us. No problem, class. You're my favorites. I don't mind doing stuff like that. There's the second two questions. Remember, you had all kinds of choices to do it. Don't listen to Myers. You can do trig any way that works for you. This was only approximately 12. Nobody offered me the real answer, so I'm leaving it. Pardon me? Exactly 12? Shut up. Really? Wow. Okay. I believe you. Airport question. Everybody should be comfortable with the airport. 2 triangles. This one on the ground. This one in the air. That's why I wrote that one blue. Here's the plane. Good joke about drawing. Great drawing. Myers. Oh, thanks, class. You guys are so nice to me. And here's where we got to now. Now, I remind you all, again, if you're the type of type A personality that has to round everything perfectly, make sure you don't round until the end of the question. This question here really should have been 52 tan 32 plus 52 tan 67 equals. Then you would have gotten the best answer possible. Okay? A great many of you probably found 32.5, probably found 122.5 and rounded those off and then added them to get 155. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But some students that I've come across in my 17 years like, but that's not rounded right, Mr. Myers. I'm like, chill, kid. Just relax. It's okay. And then they're like, no, man, it's not. And then they count rulers or something. I am not making fun of that kind of obsessive compulsive disorder at all. I'm not making fun of it at all. What I'm trying to say is that you needn't worry. If you go further than I do, good. But you needn't stress over it, okay? Okay. If any of you are indeed OCD, I apologize if you feel I am belittling you or mocking you in any way. I am not. It is crippling. Yes, Janine. Everything's out of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's out of 10. First page was out of 8. All right. The trees are 100 meters apart. Again, I am not going to draw nice trees because you guys are mean to me. Tree 1. Tree 2. They are 100 meters apart. 100. They are measured halfway between. Fitty, fitty. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. One of them is 8. One of them is 13. So you just got to do tan, right? X, Y. So, tan 50 tan 13 equals X. 50 tan 8 equals Y. And then you just had to subtract to find the difference. And I think it was something like 4 meters, but I don't remember. 4.6 meters difference. And then you had to do X minus Y. Any questions? Once, twice, thrice. Okay. Now, the map question. Even if your map was bad, you can plainly see that the sailboat went from Roberts Point, which was labeled, up to Coal Island, over to Fernie Island, and home. Yes? Right? So, since it went at 16 degrees to Coal Island, there's where the 16 must be. And Fernie Island is 1750 north of Roberts Point. So there's the 1750. So then all you had to do was trig to find the other two sides, because you had one side and 16, yes? Did it matter what trig you did? Could you have done any of them? Yes, as long as you used 16. Did you even need to use 16? Or could you have used 74 over here if you were a wise ass? But none of you were. You all used 16, right? But you could have used 74. Oops. Good gravy. So, of course, you needed an hypotenuse and you needed an opposite, right? And you had an adjacent. So you could have used cos to find the hypotenuse, then Pythagoras to find the opposite. You could have used tan to find the opposite, and then Pythagoras to find the hypotenuse. You could have used tan to find the opposite, and then use cos to find the hypotenuse, or sine to find the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. Did I tell you guys the story about my grade 7 math teacher? I'm going to tell you anyway. You think that you're actually stopping me and doing that thing that I used to do when I was a kid. You get a teacher to get off topic. But I'm not like the other teachers you have that get off topic. I will just stop teaching math, and then the bell will ring, and I will say, your test is tomorrow, and you won't have seen what you needed to see. But I will tell you the story about Mr. Bailey while I write this out. Mr. Bailey said that if you cannot remember the word for hypotenuse, he said you could remember it as hippopotamus. So, of course, I remembered the word hippopotamus. And then on the test, I wrote hippopotamus. And Mr. Bailey marked it wrong, gave me 0 on that question. Which is why, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have any cute little stories about Rapunzel climbing her tower and swinging out and making that the hypotenuse. No, I use the real words all the time. So you don't have the heartbreak of grade 7 Mr. Myers writing hippopotamus on his Pythagoras test and getting 0. You're welcome. Anyway, that gets you the opposite. And then once you have the opposite, you can find hypotenuse by doing anything you want. I personally am going to go with cos 16 equaled adjacent 1750 over hypotenuse. So hypotenuse equaled 1750 divided by cos 16. And the final answer is something like 4,100. Great. 4,072 is pretty close to 4,100. This is how I chose to do it, right here. I did tan to find the opposite. I did cos to find the hypotenuse. And then you add them all up, of course, because it's how far the boat sailed, right? Do you need to go further with this, Abresia? Okay. What did you do? And I will explain. You did tan. You probably just forgot to add them together. I bet if you added the 3 numbers that you had, 1750, the O, and the H, you would get 4,100. All right, next question, exact same thing, except I go off towards Curtis Point, which was over here, at a bearing of 307. Well, if this is straight north, that's 0, yes? Agreed? 307 goes all the way around to here, 307. What's this? 360 minus 307. So you had 53. 53. And once you had 53 there, you knew that Curtis Point was 800 north, and then you did the exact same thing, and you added these guys up. You needed an opposite and a hypotenuse again. And you did whatever trig or combination of trig and Pythagoras that you wanted to do. All right? I'm not going to write out all 20 different choices of ways you could have done this. What is the answer? So something around 3,200. Everybody okay? Once you have this, you should be able to do it, right? Like, I understand that trig, the SOHCAHTOA part, everyone can do. I understand that many of you are having trouble making the triangles. But let's be honest here. That's the part you need to be able to do, right? The SOHCAHTOA part is really pretty easy, especially since you don't actually have to remember how to do it. We give it to you on a test. Everybody good there? 2, 4, 6 out of 6. Now, Sammy's favorite question. Okay? I've already drawn it out, right? You need to have this. That's the x that you're looking for. So you have this triangle, which was 30, 30, and 69. Did you care about the hypotenuse? No, because you needed this side. Y. Once you had y with 43, you could find x. Right? So the first thing you had to do was tan 69 equaled y over 30. So 30 tan 69 got me y. Everyone okay? I'm not going to write the answer because up here, now I know that y is 30 tan 69. I also know that x, tan of 43 equals opposite x over y. Now, I haven't done any math yet because I don't want to push a wrong button. So I'm leaving this like this because I can do this in my head, can't I? I don't know the answer, but I know it's going to be 30 times tan 69, right? Now, since that's on the bottom, I multiply it, right? So x has to equal 30 tan 69 times tan 43. Everybody with me? And now I go to my calculator and I only go to my calculator once. That way I can't push a wrong button, get one wrong number, and then use that wrong number through the rest of the work. Do you understand me? I don't know what the answer is. What do you got? I mean, I can do the right answer. It'll take 2 seconds. Because people seem a little dodgy about this one. 72.87. Yep, to nearest meter, so 73 meters. And of course, again, real life issue, yes? You're not going to want to go climb no mountain not knowing how tall it is. Now this question, oh my good gravy. I didn't realize how few of you would understand what a microwave tower is. Some of the honors kids, I looked at their drawings, they drew this. With a microwave oven on top of a tower. It doesn't, well, that's the point, Antonio, that's exactly the point. It doesn't matter what a microwave tower is. You don't need to know that. But everybody was like, I don't know what a microwave tower is, Mr. Myers. This isn't a test on microwave towers. This is not Disney or Pictionary. This is a test on trigonometry. So you don't have to care what the microwave tower is. You just know it's a tower, and towers go up from the ground. It was fun, though. I had a lot of fun with it. I was like, I guess they thought you climbed the tower to pop your popcorn. I don't know. But anyway, the tower goes up in the air. There's an anchor point 9.8 meters away from the base of the tower. There's 9.8. The wire is 37. The angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 58. So to the top of the tower was 58. But there was another wire. The wire did not go to the top. And the wire was 37. And the whole thing was 58. So really you had two triangles, didn't you? You had this triangle, which was 9.8 and 58, and this triangle, which was 9.8 and 37. And then you needed to know how tall was the tower, so that's the 58, and then you needed to know this distance here, which was the 58 minus the 37 one. Okay? Everybody with me? So the height of the tower, how tall is the tower? In yellow would have been tan 58 equaled opposite x over adjacent 9.8. So 9.8 tan 58 got me the height of the tower, which I have done in yellow. Okay? And then the other one was the height of the tower. So 9.8 tan 58 minus this distance, which was 9.8 tan 37 to get that distance. Okay? Now the right answers, if you're following along at home, 9.8 tan 58 is 15.7, and that minus 9.8 tan 37 is 8.3. Because it's the same, remember? And finally, the suspension bridge. There's two towers, right? So how many did you need to draw? Just one, because if you found the distance, you could have multiplied it by 2, right? So one tower looks like this. There's the tower. There's the bridge. Is everybody okay with that? Tower, bridge, right? The towers are 135 meters above the level of the bridge. So there's 135. Is everybody cool with that? Now, the wires go from the center and the end. Okay? So from the end, they are 18.65, right? So I drew this badly. We'll put the tower here. 135. Down to the end of the bridge, it was 18.65, right? Read the question. The angles from the tower, from the center of the bridge, and the end are 10.8, 18.65, right? Respectively. So that means the end is first, or the end is second, 18.65, and then there's this one that goes to the tower, which is 10.8, right? And I want to know how long the bridge is. So if I find this, x, this, y, and then do what to x plus y? Multiply it by 2, I will get my answer, yes? So what do I have to do here? I need x. So it's tan. Tan 10.8 equals adjacent, opposite over adjacent, 135 over x. And this is tan 18.65, 135 over y. Letter on the bottom, they switch, yes? So it's 135 over tan 10.8 plus 135 over tan 18.65, and then all of that multiplies by 2. And you get an answer of something like 2,100 meters, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. The bridge is 2 kilometers long. That's a long bridge. I lie. It's 22:15. So that's out of 2, 4, 6. That page is out of 6. So it's 6 and 6 is 12, and 10 is 22, and 8 makes the whole thing out of 30. When will you report that number to me? Tomorrow on your test, right beside your name. If you don't write it there, what's the only thing I can put and check my mark for this review? 0, and it will look like you did nothing. Okay? Now, Don't be that kid that goes home and says, well, I didn't do any of it, but I kind of got it, so I'm giving myself 21 out of 30. And then you write 21 out of 30 on your test tomorrow, and then you fail the test. That will not fool me. So don't do that. Okay? Everybody good?